Okay, I think then we can slowly start. Maybe some more people will join us during the course of this webinar today. But let's start. Let's go directly into the topic. Welcome, everybody. Very nice to see you all. A quick note at the beginning, as usually, we will record this webinar today. So if you don't want to be on the recording, you can, of course, turn off your camera. And yeah, welcome. As I already said, this will be the last AI Pioneers webinar during this funding period, but of course not really the last one. And today we will focus on AI and skills in Australian education. So we will have some insights into how artificial intelligence is reshaping Australians' vocational education and training landscape, from national workforce capability to classroom practice. And we will start today with a short overview of the AI Pioneers project, in which context this webinar is organized. And then we will start with the first presentation from Australia from Thuy Reynolds today on the topic of Panorama of AI in Australian education. And then we will continue with a presentation from Alison and Lisa Bale, focusing on building Australia's vet workforce AI capability. So we are very much looking forward to those two presentations. Thank you all very much for joining here today and giving us some insights on your work. And then we will have a joint questions and answers section at the end. So I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of interesting questions, and then we can discuss afterwards together. So if you have any questions coming up during the presentations, of course, feel also free to put them in the chat already. Then we can catch up on those questions later. And yes, so let's start. The AM Pioneers project. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already have heard from us, so I will do this I will try to do it short at the beginning. So as everybody already know, I guess, we have been funded in the Erasmus Plus program 2022 under the section of forward-looking projects. For example, like AI in education. We are a pretty large consortium consisting of 10 project partners from 7 different European countries, as you can see here on the slide. And as I already mentioned, this will be the last webinar in this funding period. We are looking to the end of the project until December this year. So what were the main objectives in the project? Yes, the aim of the AI Pioneers project is to research, promote, and evaluate, of course, the use of AI in adult education and in vocational education as well, focusing on policy recommendations, toolkits, and ethical implementation of AI. We will have a short overview of those outputs, those results of the project later in the presentation today. And the project aims to support the integration of AI and new initiatives in vet and adult education through collaboration with different kinds of stakeholders, building a sustainable network of AI pioneers in European countries, and of course, beyond that. So the core of the project was to develop this international network of AI pioneers. And we are all the more excited, of course, that the project is also attracting interest outside Europe. So we borrowed the term pioneer from the European Digital Competence Framework for educators, and their pioneers represent the highest level of competence and are understood as experts who critically question the use and appropriateness of common digital and didactic practices, here especially focusing on AI. And as members of our network, we naturally wanted to support these pioneers with a wide variety of resources, like the policy recommendations, toolkits, and ethical guidelines, as I already said, but also, of course, with different kinds of workshop formats and exchange opportunities, to offer a platform for those pioneers to learn from each other and have this mutual exchange on best practices of AI integration. So as I just said, we already can look back on almost 3 years of running this project. And we are not having only a very large international consortium, but also we could establish partnerships and cooperation with international organizations. And yeah, we already could initiate cooperation with the European Commission's Joint Research Center, but also with the European Training Foundation and the Council of Europe. And also, like the core of the network formation, we could also initiate bilateral cooperations between vocational schools. And we also had different kinds of workshops with GoVET. This is a central point of contact for international VET cooperation on behalf of the federal government from Germany. And of course, we had different kinds of webinars. And of course, we also could reach out to international networks like Eden, who is, of course, an active partner in this network, an active funded partner in this network as well, but also FVET and also AMES Australia. So we will hear more about their work from Thuy today. And Thuy actually also visited us in Germany, so we had a lot of exchange already. And yes, summing up a little bit, we did more than 40 online and on-site workshops and seminars to support those communities of practices, of course, in the partners countries. And yes, we have a lot of subscribers on our weekly newsletter, and we wrote a lot of blog posts, and we have a lot of people following us on LinkedIn. So, of course, we are very happy if you would all like to join us on LinkedIn later as well. Yes, so coming to an end so that we have a lot of time for the presentations, I just want to mention brief our AI toolkit as well as our supplement to the digital competence framework for educators on AI, and as well our ethical guidelines on our evaluation schema for AI in education on data protection and ethics. And you can find all of those resources on our project website in different languages. And summing up, as I already said, last webinar in this project period, we are also planning, of course, more events and activities to come up in the future, in the next year. So, of course, we also want to continue with expert-led webinars, blog posts, and maybe also launch of an action lab at the Eden conference. So we have a lot of ideas coming up at the moment. And finally, would be great to have you all joining our website and our LinkedIn page so that you will see all the upcoming activities. And thank you for your attention so far. Now we will hear from Thuy Reynolds, a presentation about the panorama of AI in Australian education. And Thuy is the coordinator for curriculum and digital design at AMES Australia. And AMES Australia is the nation's preeminent provider of English language and settlement services in Victoria, in addition to being a major supplier of specialist employment and training services in Melbourne and Sydney. So I will stop sharing my screen, and Thuy, if you like, you can now share your screen. And we are very much looking forward to your presentation.
Sharing my screen. Thank you, Lisa, for the very lovely introduction. So I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen yet?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, great. I'm not sure if is that the right screen. You are seeing all the PowerPoint fully.
Yes, we
Is that-
can see your PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see your PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's great, wonderful. So yeah, thank you, Lisa, and thank you, everyone. So it is my pleasure to be here today to share with you some insight about AI in Australian education. Yeah, so in the last couple of years, we have been using AI a lot. So it feels like AI, it feels like AI topic is one of hottest, fastest moving, and the most debated topic in our current time. So why AI draw so much attention from us? So hopefully, let's go through our session today to find out the answer. And I would like to take you around the world first to see how AI progressing AI power rankings from Stanford. So in the United States, China, and United Kingdom are the top 3 countries that in AI space, and the report underline data from 36 countries based on 42 indicators. So this is the top 10 country in the list. Australia is not in this list. However, we not far down the check. And Australia actually ranked 16 in the AI vibrancy and 7th in the responsible AIs. And our strongest area is policy and governance, where we stand out globally. And in fact, Australia ranks first in the world for having a strong and clear defined national AI strategy. Also, at the first rank, Australia is showing the highest level of engagement with tools like ChatGPT and Gemini. So we can see that Australia is quite active in these areas and highly adopter. Now let's go into our main topic today about AI in Australian education. I would like to recall to the time ChatGPT first come out in 2022, and Australia actually was among the first country to restrict AI use in education. But since then, we have moved quickly and strategically. The policy and governance change has shown in all levels of education. So let's go into K-12 level. In late 2023, Australia introduced a framework for sensitive AI in school. This is a national guide developed through collaboration across all states and education sector to help educators use AI responsibly and ethically. The framework is built on 6 core principle. It involves teaching, learning, well-being, and AI responsible use. So these principles to ensure that AI in education support both innovation and student well-being. In tertiary level, last year, Australia launched the AI strategy for Australian higher education, and it is emerging practice toolkit. It built on a 100% response from university. So this toolkit provides a 3-part framework involve process, people, and practice. It is help institute integrate generative AI responsibly while ensuring academic integrity. The leading university like the University of Sydney are not only adopting AI, but also advancing research on this area. So we can see here, the university are developing a lot of resources to share with the community. Now, I have been integrated to support teachers and students as well as how it's aligned with the industry skill needs. So firstly is about supporting teachers. Australia's approach to Australia approach to AI in VET is about innovation with clear boundary. So this giving educators the confidence to lead the training responsibly. We can see the change of Australia's policy and in the West sector here, seeing stronger guidance from state education department and regulators. So, for example, I take in education policy that set clear expectations for ethical and responsible AI use. This address all common issue about bias, accuracy. Yes.
Excuse me. I don't know if it's only on my side, but
I don't know.
sometimes the internet connection is a little bit poor. Maybe I don't know if anybody else has also the same problem, but maybe it helps to turn off the camera. I don't know.
So I can turn off my camera. Okay, let's try. Camera because it's my big screen. Yeah. Okay, I turn off my camera now. Everyone can hear me clearly? Hopefully.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let's continue. So I'm talking about the TAPE New South Wales has introduced a generative AI in education policy that set clear expectations for ethical and responsible AI use. So this had addressed all the common issue in using AI like bias, accuracy, and privacy. And I can add a model of how AI can enhance teaching while maintaining academic integrity. And besides, the VET Development Center has been key, running workshops and symposium to help teachers understand how to use AI safely and effectively. Similarly, at homes and institute, educators also could learn practical AI skill from 1 or 2 day workshop, which is designed for improve teachers' skill in designing digital content or writing prompt and building interactive lesson. At the same time, as a RTO like Western Australia, aviation is collaborating with Corbox AMES provider to develop, implementing in developing content and assessment. However, it's all with educators validating the content. As a RTO, they also exploring AI tool in support. For example, here they are using RTO pilot system, which automate assessment marking, progress tracking, and compliance reporting. This saves teacher valuable time, so teacher can focus on supporting students in other areas that AI have been able to support. So we could see that Australia isn't rushing to AI automate education at all. It's about piloting with purpose and giving educators the tools, skill, and confidence to lead the train responsibly, which is both exciting and sustainable, I believe. Not only useful for teachers, it also has been seen that AI is transforming student experience and improving learning outcome in VET. For example, at TAPE Queensland, an apprenticeship pilot is building advanced digital skill with AI teacher board avatar that it offering students 24/7 virtual tutoring. So it's very helpful for students with instant feedback and instant support. Other providers are also using, also using predictive analytics in systems like Reddit to spot at-risk learner early to provide suitable support rate. And especially at AIM, where is my current home, the tool like my AIM chat give students instant and personalized feedback in a wide range of activity like pronunciation, vocabulary, flashcard, and especially interview practice. So it helps them learn more effectively in their own time. We are going to publish a paper on our case study in how we have integrated the app into our teaching and learning and how teacher and student benefit from it. If you want and more information, you can contact me. And now the question for us EU and workforce after all the current exciting AI integration and development here. So let's look at the current state first. So last year, Microsoft Work Change report showed that around 70% business leaders say they would not hire someone without AI skills. It is what's happening now. So what would happen in the near future, like 2030? So to answer for this question, let's look into the future of job reports, which is released early this year. As we can see from our screen here, the diagram is divided for parts. So let's focus on the top right corner, which is a core skill in 2030. So unsurprisingly, we can see that AI and big data and tech literacies are right up there. So we could see that the technical skill, especially AI tech, is vital. However, not that about the technical skill either. We could see the rising importance of those fundamentally human curiosity, that commitment to lifelong learning and resilience. And the skill like system thinking and talent management also flag more and more as critical for navigating the complex tech-driven workplaces. So this connect to the broader point about AI and the workforce. So this actually also align with finding from SIG, Australia's largest platform. So this organization analyzed for millions of job ads and employer insights to show how fast AI is reshaping skill expectation. It is a reminder that Australia's future workforce needs more than technical skill. It needs the mindset to learn, evolve, and innovate with technology as well. As we know, AI has been able to and now have a more potential to replace some tasks like dangerous, dirty, and demeaning. So we can call it only 3D task. So rather than replacing job entirely, AI will transform them and demand new skill set and offering opportunity to improve workplace conditions and job satisfaction. So what's the implication for that here? So I believe that the focus of the training should be shifted. So instead of certain manual executions of those 3D tasks, the vet needs to emphasize on higher order skill like problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, adaptability. At the same time, training is going to be increasingly about collaborating with AI and not trying to compete against it for exactly the same task. And as we can see in the step of integrating and implementing, there's a key connection between student and AI here. They play important and evolving role that go beyond simple using technology to ensure human connection, critical thinking, and responsible use of AI as well. So seeing that futures, how the vet sector in Australia connect to the industry needs and prepare learners for the workforce of tomorrow. So this is actually where we could see the anxieties of the vet sector. The provider like Australian Institute of Measurement are responding directly to the demand with the targeted qualification as we can see here. The Institute offers programs covering practical AI skills to prepare our students for the future workforce. And industry partnership are so vital here as well. So VET providers are working directly with tech leaders to co-design programs. For example, Tech New South Wales Data Center Academy is an example. So it is actually the collaboration between Tech New South Wales and Microsoft. This ensures students are trained with real-world tools and methods, so they are genuinely job ready for AI-enabled role in the future. So, to this point, we could see that in terms of education, AI is changing how we teach and learn. And in terms of employment, it is reshaping skill set and future workforce. So now, do you think you could answer the question about at beginning about why AI draw that much attention from us, at least in these two areas? I think I let you to decide. So let's continue with Australian context. So to meet the future workforce demand, Australia has set a nation goal to grow its tech-related workforce to 1.2 million jobs by 2030. And to achieve these goals, Australian government has provided strong support across multiple areas, including infrastructure, funding, policy, and especially strategic planning. I think I'm a bit over time, so I will chat it quick in here. So let's go into detail of this support. Australia has AI ethics principle, which sets the foundation here. Australia developed eight national principles to guide the safe, fair, and accountable use of AI. And in terms of national policy, we have this national skill agreements that focus on modernized VET system. And in terms of investments, the government launched the 50 million technology fund to upgrade digital infrastructure and also provide free tape program to support thousands of people access courses without concern about finance. And research is another key part of this ecosystem as well. The FHR is leading studies on how AI can enhance teaching and assessment in VET. And internationally, collaboration like my fellowship with the International Specialized Skills Institute are helping Australia learn from global best practice and apply those lessons to strengthen our own workforce capability. In terms of strategic skill, Australia has identified the nation's future skill, prioritize the four C's. Here is care, computing, cognitive, and communication skill. So this is a foundation for future ready workforce. The outstandingly future skill organization is a government funded job, and Skill Council is fast track innovative training solution to meet demand for critical digital and AI capability. And Alison and Lisa will share with us about their amazing work shortly. And finally, Australia is upgrading its digital capability framework. It's transitioning from a DCF to the Digital Com 2.2 model, which is widely used in Europe to strengthen digital and AI literacy across the VET system. And beyond all the theory, statistic, and information, I would like to share with you a real experience when I saw an event that Victoria government prepares for the future students. So you could see I could feel some real breathing here. So this event is to elevate awareness of VCE vocational major and VET pathway through real world skill demonstration and interactive installation. And I hope you one nice day you would come to visit us and our beautiful country to witness and feel yourself about the education here blossoming in the age of AI. And thank you for the attention. And I'm sorry a bit over time. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. I stop sharing now, and over for Lisa and everyone. Thank you very much.
Thuy, thank you very much for your interesting presentation. That was great, and I'm pretty sure there will be questions people are already preparing so that we can dive into it right during the discussion section later. But before that, I would like to hand over to Alison Wall and Lisa Bale, who will talk today about building Australia's vet workforce AI capability. And Alison Wall is the Chief Operating Officer, and Lisa Bale is the Director of Vet Compliance, both from the Future Skills Organization in Australia, as we already have heard. And together they oversee the quality of work from the Future Skills Organization as the Job and Skills Council for finance, technology, and business sectors in Australia. So great to have you here today. The floor is yours now,
Thank you.
if you want.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. I will share our presentation. And Lisa, I think if we can try and be finished by if we could try and be finished by 1:45, that will give us plenty of time for questions. So I'll just bring up the presentation, assuming everybody can see that, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for your amazing introduction. It's a pleasure for Lisa and I to be here. Just quickly, I want to acknowledge that we are coming from the lands of our traditional owners here in Australia, and I'm in Melbourne on Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung Wurrung country. And I know Lisa's in, I think she's in Sydney today, so she's on Gadigal, but wanting to pay respects to our traditional owners on the lands which we work, and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We are a Jobs and Skills Council, so we're the Future Skills Organisation. We're one of 10 Jobs and Skills Councils, and as Lisa just introduced, we look after the industry sectors of finance, technology and business. Our role mandate is to ensure that we have industry sector skills for learners and employers, and obviously to make sure that those skills are the right skills to increase productivity in Australia. As a Jobs and Skills Council, we have 4 key functions, and those are around understanding the ecosystem in which our industries work and do workforce planning. So we have a strategic lens on the skills that are needed and are able to forecast those skills. We look after training product development, which is the training, the vet curriculum, if you like. And so that is obviously in our areas applicable to finance, technology and business. We then make sure that that training that is developed, that we oversee, is implemented, promoted and monitored. So we've got a continuous feedback loop around the work that we do to make sure that it is meeting the needs of our training providers, our learners and industry, and then we continuously improve. And then, of course, lastly, we have a responsibility to make sure that we include our unions, and we are our industry. We are the stewards of our industries, and that it also includes unions and government as well. So we are the sort of middle piece, if you like, amongst all of those intersecting pieces. We have a strategy, and I've really, condensed it down for this evening's presentation or this morning's presentation, wherever you are, to just sort of make sure that you understand the way that we work. When we first started as a Jobs and Skills Council, we've only been in place for the last 3 years. Obviously, everybody is a digital worker. Everybody needs digital skills, and the vast majority of workers need business skills. And so having technology and business in our remit was a double-edged sword. It was fantastic because we had a great breadth of skills, and we were very much needed in our sectors, but it also means that we are everything to everybody. So we are very cross-industry, if you like, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, technology and business play a part. So we had to decide how we were going to divide up our work so we were able to please the majority of our stakeholders. So we now talk about generalist skills, specialist skills, and scaling. So generalist skills, and Thuy's already talked about these, the skills that are needed by most of the workforce. Specialist are those vertical skills, if you like. So things in the tech sector like cyber, like data analytics, like networking. In finance, we're talking banking, mortgage broking, lending. And so those are the specialist skills. So we sort of think of things horizontally, skills for everybody, and vertically, those specialist skills. And then how do we scale those capabilities? It's great to run trials and pilots, but we want to be creating real impact in the work that we do. So how do we scale that? We work through 3 pillars. So we work through, obviously, our industry partners and employers, our training providers. So yes, we are predominantly focused in the vet sector, but we also work up into higher ed and down into schools, and then the broader vet system. This is our program of work, and so I just wanted to put that slide up to show that we are doing lots and lots of different things. But today we're going to talk about digital capability, and particularly the generalist AI piece, and a little bit about our AI skills accelerator to focus on what we're doing today. I'm going to hand over to Lisa to talk about digital capability.
Fabulous. Thank you, Alison. So as Alison just said, we look after the national vet curriculum for finance, business and technology. And so the way that we're looking at that curriculum is to look at what are generalist skills and what are specialist skills. So generalist skills being the skills that are needed by everybody in all industries. So if you take, for example, that we look after business, it doesn't matter what occupation you have, there are business skills that people need. So we're calling those skills generalist skills. So we are we've only just this week gone into public and government consultation on some units of competency that we have written or curriculum that we have written. And what we've done is these have all been written around DigComp 2.2. And these are generalist digital capability units of competency. So just to stress, they're not focused on an IT specialisation. These include standalone units on generalist AI and cybersecurity. They're applicable for everybody across all industry sectors based on DigComp 2.2. We have some standalone AI units which have been developed with consideration of various frameworks. And these are now open for on our website for public consultation. Just in the box down below, we have a note here about AI skills are critical but need to be complemented with employability and human skills to ensure people can operate in an ever-changing tech landscape. So we've had lots of feedback from our industry providers that even though they want their employees to have AI skills, not to forget that they need to be coupled with those human skills. I might move on to the next page. I'm just mindful of the time also. So these are the 39 units of competency or curriculum. We call them units of competency because each one of these contains knowledge and skills for use in the vet sector. So you can see across the top, we've used the 5 areas of DigComp, and then we've used from foundation to highly specialist, where we've condensed them from 8 into 4. So at the intersection of each of these, you'll see that that's an individual unit of competency. So in total, we have 28 individual units of competency. So if you look at the columns number 6 and number 7, even though we know that there is some embedding of AI and cybersecurity within DigComp, for AI and cyber, our industries and our state governments have also said to us they would like special generalist units of competency in AI and cyber. So we've used the same framework, but we have written these units of competency to be specifically for AI and for cyber. Then we've done 2 other things. We have written horizontal units, we're calling them. So if you can see that blue box that goes around the 5 units in the advanced area, essentially at each one of the levels, foundation, intermediate, advanced and highly specialised, we have grouped those together so that that forms one unit of competency. And the use case for this is where people are teaching electives or want all of the skills across all of the dimensions. They would use one horizontal unit. Where people specifically just want a particular lot of skills or knowledge, they would use the individual units. And thirdly, the last type of unit that we have is what's called a progressive vertical unit of competency. And this is where we go vertically. So we have one unit that focuses on an area but covers all of the different levels from foundation to highly specialised. This particular grouping in progressive vertical we see as very useful for doing recognition of prior learning, or RPL, where people can enrol in one unit and then be credited for the level of skills and knowledge they have. Also useful for existing workers so that they can actually find out what level they're at and what level they need to be at for their employment, so that it gives them the areas to work towards. And next slide, please. Sorry, I know I'm going fast, but I'm just keeping to time. And the next one, this is the AI units of competency. So this shows how we've used some different frameworks, but we have applied it to DigComp so that it sits in nicely with our full set of 39 units of competency. So essentially, for the Australian users of the VET system, they will be able to use either individual units of competency, they can use horizontal units of competency, they can use vertical ones, they can use AI, they can use cyber. And we have some examples of where we're actually using the AI units. And Alison, I might hand over to you if you wanted to talk about the accelerator. An accelerated talk about the accelerator.
Thank you. An accelerated discussion. Beautiful. So look, again, mindful of time, but one of the, as I said, our scale function is around making sure that we are increasing the availability of skills training in a really meaningful way. So one of the things we're doing is our skills accelerator. And this is bringing together our industry partners, government, and the training sector in a collaborative way to ensure that we are able to upskill our VET workforce. This is for digital capability, but in the first instance, we're focusing on AI. You can see there that we have some fairly audacious aims to cover 100,000 learners and 30,000 educators, and that is by the middle of 2026, so June 2026. And we have more than 300 partners in that group at the moment. This is based on some work that our Department of Employment and Workplace Relations has done around the sustainability and capability of our VET workforce in Australia, and certainly happy to give you the slides so you can look at the blueprint work at a later point. The accelerator does have three streams. So we're looking at all of those people coming together in a community of practice, if you like. The first function is around sharing knowledge. So what workshops can we run? Access to resources and tools can we provide? We also want to really showcase best practice. So we've got a stream around what works and why. So that's a really sort of detailed overview of a pilot or a particular approach, so people can understand what good looks like and pick up some tips and tricks. And then the last one is a very active piece where we have action learning sprints. And so we bring stakeholders together who register for a sprint. They are put into a virtual room. We have people who come with some challenges or some issues that they might have. We have industry or other training providers there who are currently working with AI. They decide on what problem they're going to work on, and then they do that over a 90-day sprint. So the first 30 days is around defining that. Then it's testing a solution in the next 30 days. And then there's an evaluation piece where at the end, you come back together to evaluate. And obviously we then showcase those solutions, and it's a continual learning cycle. So that's our accelerator at the moment. We've had 2 sprints and things are progressing really well. So we're incredibly excited about the accelerator and the opportunities that it provides for our vet workforce. We're going to look to scale this across the learner cohort and then potentially into other areas. I think that's about it. Given time, we would be very happy if anybody wants to reach out on LinkedIn, very happy to talk about any of those things, but want to make sure that we leave plenty of time for questions. So we'll leave it at that for the moment. Thanks, Lisa.
Alison and Lisa, thank you very much for this exciting presentation. I'm very, very happy that we will have everything recorded so then everybody can reach out later and have a second view on the interesting presentations of today's webinar. So now we have some time left for questions and discussion. I'm having a quick look in the chat, and there is the first question: how the Australian educational system is implementing teaching and learning AI through the different levels.
It's a really interesting question. Can I ask that person who's put the question in the chat, when you say different levels, do you mean from a school perspective, a vocational perspective, or within higher education? The whole education perspective. Thank you. So look, we do have, as I said, the 3 systems. Our school colleagues are very much looking at how they implement AI through our national curriculum. So our school curriculum is by and large a national curriculum. And then from a vet perspective, there is a whole range of different things. And as Thuy outlined, there are lots of different people doing different things. And in a way, the accelerator is trying to capture all of that great energy and those great initiatives to try and bring them and share them across the nation. Our higher ed colleagues, I'm not sure what they're doing, but Thuy might have a little bit more information. So I'm going to pass to you.
Yeah. That you mentioned, yes. So I present in my presentation, have share with you about the framework and the policy that each level of school, like K-12, tertiary, and vet as well. So we all have a structure framework for each level to follow, to integrate and use AI in teaching and learning. Yeah. Key guideline in there to follow. Yeah. Thank you.
We have another question in the chat. Do you assess students using AI, and what are your experiences?
Lisa, I'm going to hand to you on this one.
Okay, so this is the answer is it's varied. And so different organisations, Thuy talked about and displayed some policies of different learning organisations. So, for instance, TAFE New South Wales and Homeschool are providers in the vet and the higher ed sector. They've got policies, so they're using those policies. I believe most people do, although some people still are learning about how to assess students using AI. And so there are people on a sliding spectrum of people that are very confident in using it and people that haven't started yet, and everyone in between. So one of the outcomes that we seek to do through the Skills Accelerator that Alison was talking about is bringing together the RTOs, or the colleges that offer all of the teachers, the educators, for them to interact with industry, but to discuss with each other how they're using AI and to learn from each other.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of more questions coming up, so I'm rushing right into it. Deirdre, you have a question. Maybe you can unmute yourself and talk to us directly. It's way more interesting. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, she cannot turn on her microphone, so I'm reading the question. First of all, she's thanking for the presentation. She's wondering how you succeed in keeping communities of practice engaged and active when working with AI and vet. Do you have any ideas, any experiences that you can share with us?
Our community of practice in the accelerator has been, really successful, and we've been taken by surprise. We launched in the middle of August. We thought we might have, maybe 50 or 60 partners, and we're, hitting 300. So we've been overwhelmed with the success of it. I think the fact that we've got those 3 different streams is really useful. So to Lisa's point about the sliding scale of adoption, people can sort of just come and observe, or they can be a little bit more interactive, or they can just, launch in and go, oh, we've got this problem around AI. We'd really like to find out how to do this. And, we work with the people in those sprints to find solutions. So everybody's actually working together. I think that it's been really good, because quite often, and you will all know yourselves as education practitioners, we all join community practices, and sometimes it's a little bit of a chat fest, and everybody chats a lot, but they might admire the problem, but nothing happens. And so we sort of wanted to really make that commitment to action learning. And so let's jump in and learn as we go. We expect our students to do that. Why don't we do it too? So the engagement has been really good. I think our biggest challenge now is to maybe make sure that we put like learners together, or like problems together, so those sprints don't get too big, because if you've got 30 or 40 people in a room, that starts to get really big. Lisa, any insights on engagement for community practice that you'd like to add?
I think a lot of it for us is we've had such great uptake because people are really interested in AI, and they want to know how they can learn and participate. And for us, we have in our vocational sector, we have a mixture of public, government, vocational providers, and then private vet providers, school providers, higher education providers. So because there is an enterprise providers in the workplace, so because there is that mixture, they are very excited to come together in this skills accelerator. I think part of the reason is it's called a skills accelerator. It's not just happening forever, but essentially this way they can come together, and we are also bringing industry to the table. So they get to hear from industry and know what the expectations are for when students go to the workplace. And there is an excitement about learning from each other, sharing, contributing, but really giving the best experience for the learners.
Thank you very much. That sounds very interesting. It's very great to hear all of your positive experience. What I would wonder, and we also heard some aspects already, but as that we are like a very international project, I wanted to ask, what do you think other countries can learn from your AI strategies in education, also focusing on AI competences? And yes, maybe like a very broad question to all the 3 of you.
I can go first if you like. I think what we really needed to do was to take the framework, and the Australian government said that they wanted to use DigComp 2.2 so that we were aligned with what was happening internationally. However, as you know, a framework's just a framework. It's not a curriculum document. It's how do you put that into action? So because we do have the stewardship of the national training packages, the fact that we've looked at the framework, we have converted it into actual usable curriculum that includes what are the knowledge, the skills, how do you apply the knowledge and skills, along with those competency-based assessments, gives the educators, gives the colleges something tangible to pick up and to be able to actually use. And then just something else, if I can add to that, we're also doing a pilot in how colleges are going to use these units of competency that we will then take and then share back through the Skills Accelerator.
Thank you so much.
So make it practical, make it so someone can pick it up and take action straight away.
Thank you very much for the summary at the end. We have also some additional questions in the chat. The teaching focus is on AI use or AI basis is a question.
So what we've looked at are generalist skills. So generalist skills don't mean basic skills. So if you look at all of DigComp, it goes through from foundational to highly advanced. And the way that we're thinking about generalist skills are the skills used by many industries and businesses right across the board. So just to move it away from digital, if you think about communication is a generalist skill, but it has many different levels and many different branches. But essentially, if you want to be successful in running a business or an industry, you need to be good at communication. Likewise, leadership and management. Those courses are for us at a qualifications framework 4 and 5. However, they are still generalist skills because even if you are a sole trader, you still need leadership and management skills. So it's the way that we're defining generalist. It doesn't mean low level. It means skills that go across multiple industries.
Thank you very much for the clarification. I think we would have time for one last short question. I'm having a quick look at the chat. If I missed anything. Oh, there was also a question if, where is it? Are the units you have written for the extended DigComp publicly available? I think that's a very good last question. And
so Alison's put in the chat the link there. Definitely they are
great.
publicly available. If you click on that link in the chat, we welcome you to come. This is what before the curriculum becomes accredited, we call it, we have a public and government consultation period where we display our curriculum and then we get feedback on it to improve it. So we'd be really happy if you would like to go and read the units of competency, see how we've put them together, and we'd be even happier if you gave us some feedback on those. We recognise that you're all very experienced, so we welcome feedback.
Please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing the link. We know the obstacles of getting feedback sometimes, so we pretty much understand how important it is. So thank you very much for sharing all of your work, Thuy, Lisa, and Alison. It was very great to have you here today, getting a lot of insights from Australian vet and AI use, and it's very great to hear like all of the interest and motivation of stakeholders to join all of the strategic initiatives. So I hope we will stay in contact, and I will certainly have a view on the link you have just provided and give some feedback. So I'm very interested to dive a little bit deeper in the topic. And there are a lot of thumbs up coming from all of the participants in this meeting. So thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.